Alright guys, before I start this video, I gotta tell you that my opinions are my own. They're in no way endorsed by the DoD as in Department of Defense or the Marine Corps in any way. They're just my own personal opinions. So, active duty versus reservists in the Marine Corps. I spent about 6 years in the reserves, and I'm coming up on about 3 years on active duty. Reserve side was enlisted, and active side has been officer besides TCOM, or Training Education Command, for like MOS school and boot camp and all that as an enlisted Marine. So, some facts for you. You're gonna get paid, right? So if you're active duty, you're getting paid regular salary monthly. You're also getting housing provided to you if you're single and a junior Marine, or you're getting a housing allowance if you're a senior enlisted guy, an officer, or you're married. That being said, as a reservist, you only get paid when you actually have work. So it's an average of a weekend a month and 2 weeks of the summer. So that boils down to a minimum of 42 days a year. Now, the plus side of that, 28 or more of those days are actually twice what active duty makes. So working about 42 days a year, you make about 70 days worth of active duty pay. Now, as a junior enlisted Marine, that's not really enough to do much. It's a couple $1,000s after taxes, and so if you're a reservist, it might pay your expenses to get there, get home, maybe pay a couple extra bills initially. Then as you go up the ranks, it'll actually provide some benefit for you and actually help you pay more bills. Uh, but that being said, the time that you spend, all right? If you're on active duty, you're Marine 24/7. So personal experience, I'm married, I got a kid, spent Christmas Eve all the way through 8 a.m. on Christmas on duty. So 24 hours on duty, you're allowed to sleep about 4 hours. So came home after my kid was already up Christmas morning, and you could believe a toddler is super excited that they have to wait for dad to get home to open presents on Christmas. Other than that, uh, reserve side, I mean, you're spending a total over the year of about 1.5 months of your time actually doing something. So you got a lot more time at home. You're gonna work a regular job. You can go to school if you want to. Active duty, they'll give you tuition assistance, but you're not really gonna have time for school unless you're at a unit that gives you time. So the benefits along with it, if you're on active duty, you automatically have TRICARE, so full medical, full dental coverage. You get hurt, you walk in, you want to get your teeth cleaned, you walk into the dentist and you schedule it. Reserve, you can opt into it, but it's literally going to eat up your entire reserve pay. So you'll have medical benefits and you'll have whatever other benefits you rate. The GI Bill, so if you're a reservist, you have to sign a 6 years for a contract to get the reserve GI Bill. Now, the reserve GI Bill is 40% of your average state school tuition, so it'll fluctuate over time. But the active duty GI Bill, or we'll get back to that, but active duty GI Bill is the post 9/11 GI Bill, so it's going to pay full tuition, it's going to pay a stipend for housing as well as books. So really, you can make money going to school if you plan it right using the post 9/11 GI Bill. Now, as a reservist, you can rate the post 9/11 GI Bill, but you have to break a year on active duty or deploy to a combat environment. So uh, take that as you will. Also, on active duty, you get leave, has to be approved, but you get 2.5 paid days off a month that you can accrue up to 60 before you get forced into selling it at the end of the fiscal year. So if you're on active duty, you can get paid time off, and also as a reservist, you just have a lot of time off. But the coolness factor of being active duty versus reserve, right? A lot of active duty guys try and say, oh, you're just a reservist, this or that. But in my experience, I spent, 6 years as a reservist. I fired more rounds in ranges. I got to actually blow things up, got to fast rope and rappel out of helicopters and off of buildings, and do a lot of cool reservist stuff. By the way, I was a supply reservist. I'm an active duty 0402 logistics officer. I was at 0311 for literally about 10 minutes before I was a supply guy, but that's a whole nother story. So, as a reservist, I got to do a lot of cool stuff, blow things up, shoot a bunch of guns, drive big trucks, you name it. And on the active duty side, the only time I've gone to the range has been part of either training and education command, so same thing as enlisted guy going through the initial training pipeline to get where I got. And other than that, I went to one rifle qual and one pistol qual in the last 2 years. So mandatory ranges every year. I did it half the time. So I actually did the same thing as a reservist with rifle and pistol qual. So yeah, I actually shot a lot more guns and did a lot more fun stuff as a reservist. So I definitely say the reserves are a cooler time. But that's going to depend on your unit and training and op tempo and a lot of other factors. But unless there's actually a war going on, in my eyes, the active duty Marine Corps is not a fun place to be. You just sit and watch PowerPoints and hear a bunch of stupid stories, and people go out in town and make a lot of stupid mistakes that uh, I wouldn't see them making if they were actually around their family and stuff, especially around the holidays, which is probably skewing how I'm taking this video. But anyways, if you have questions about the reserves, active duty, anything Marine Corps wise, and you want someone's opinion who has lived it but is not a recruiter or not in any way endorsed and forced to sell you a great idea that it's for you, go ahead and ask me questions. You can comment or, you know, whatever you want to do. But either way, I'll catch you all around. Plan on making a few more videos talking about my experiences. Yeah, this one might not be the most positive, but I hope that it was informational and that you learned something about it. Anything you do want to know about the pay scale, anything you want to know about benefits, you can literally find it all. DFAS is a good place to start when you're looking at pay and allowances, and benefits, literally just go on the VA's website. They have it all laid out there. So if you're looking at different branches or different options, uh, look at that, see what your benefits are, and yeah, make a good decision. All right.